What's going on, world of YouTube? This is A New Breed, and I was sitting out there stacking firewood and had a thought, especially because I live up in the north and I'm constantly burning firewood to keep the house warm. It's not that I don't have central air heat, it's just the fact that for me, it's cheaper to do so, and personally, I like using firewood more than I do gas. It just seems to heat you up better, more calming, more soothing, and I also like the ambiance of the fireplace. Now me, I have a wood burning stove. I have had a wood burning stove and I've been using it for probably about the past 5 years steady. Got it 8 years ago. Learning to control things, airflow, whole 9 yards. But that's beside the point. What I want to talk about is the amount of people who don't have an ability to burn wood or make fire in the house during a winter situation. Because I know temperatures are going to drop up here, and we've seen what happens across the pretty much states whenever you get that point where it gets cold, power outages, people don't have a way to warm up. I don't believe that's something many people look at. So I wanted to talk about that today. This isn't going to be a long video. Of course, I say shit like that, but let's see how this works. Now, me personally, I stack up about 10 cords a year, probably use about 6, if that, and these are true cords. What the overflow does, the overflow actually sits back and it seasons for another year. Now, overly seasoned wood, it is what it is. I'm not going to get into that, but let's get into the meat and potatoes of this conversation. Okay, people being able to keep themselves warm. In my state, or in my city, 90% of the people's houses that I know or go to, they've blocked up their chimneys, they've took their fireplaces and bricked them out. They don't have them anymore. So from a standpoint of when power goes out, people are generally relying on, if they have a gas stove, to kick the gas stove on and stay hot, because we do have power outages from time to time. So that was a thought that I had. What if there is no gas or electric? Think about it. How many people are going to succumb to the cold? How many people don't know how to properly warm up, even though you're sealing off doors and windows and different things like that? Yes, bundling up, that works great, but how are you going to be able to cook? A lot of the foods that people will have will be canned goods, etc., etc. But the fire is essential for a lot of things, especially in a long-term shit hit the fan situation. So for instance, cooking, being able to sanitize your water, boil it, being able to wash yourself. Of course, you're not going to wash yourself with ice cold water if you don't have to. If you got to, you got to do what you got to do. Now, me personally, we did have a power outage for about, it was 10 days. 10 days we had a power outage. And the only way I was able to heat my house was off the wood stove. Believe it or not, it was one of the most peaceful times of my life. There wasn't no noise, there wasn't much sound. Every now and then you heard traffic, but it wasn't like there was too much going on. I just go out back, I'd stack up some wood, throw it in the fireplace. I was able to cook over it, and we still had gas. It was just what I chose to do due to the fact I wanted to make myself as efficient as physically possible. When it came to being able to cook and do everything else that's needed to be done. So for me, that kind of helped out, and I was able to learn and educate myself on certain things. So having the ability to cook, having the ability to boil your water, having the ability to maintain heat. Now also understanding that if you get a portable wood burning stove, something that can go inside your house, you can use many different things to do as such. Purchase them. I would probably recommend you not making them. Also, burning certain things can release carbon monoxide, and that's the last thing you want. Now, there's going to be a lot of people who say, yeah, I got a propane heater. Well, how long is that propane heater going to last? Especially in a semi-permanent or even long-term grid down situation. And I'm talking about, 10 days, 15 days. Of course, you can have a generator. Generators make noise, so you could try and run things off that. Electric heaters come in handy. Generally, they run about 1,500, anywhere from 1,000 to 1,500 watts to heat up an area. You will be able to put things over your doors and windows and still maintain heat. Now, the biggest thing is being able to bundle up. But I want to talk about wood stoves. And I'm talking about just portable wood stoves you can buy on Amazon. Now, you have some that will ventilate out the window, but those pull cold air in from all the surrounding areas, which forces air into your room. They also have ones, my wood stove is set up so it pulls cold air in from the outside and then it vents through the chimney. That is wonderful. Before we had one that just pulled in air, and I would notice around the house it would get cold in the furthest parts of the house by windows and it would leak in. and all that cold air has to come in to heat, and it just gets pulled right up out of the chimney. Now, the one that I currently have, we went ahead, took it out back, and we have a tube that goes out back that pulls in air from the outside, which helps the combustion radiating, then it radiates out, which just continually pushes heat out rather than pulling cold air in, and it heats the entire house. So even on days that are 30 below, my house can get up to about 75 to 81 degrees on an average. And yeah, like I said, we do have central air and we have heat here. It is just supplementary. Say for instance, I forgot to stack up firewood. So I just kick it on and put it on a whole temperature, and it never really reaches it because I'm actually pretty good with that. But my whole thing is, how many people will succumb to the cold in a long-term situation? If you know nobody's coming for you, if you know that, if you don't know when shit's gonna come back on, how long is it gonna take for you to actually be able to keep yourself, and not only yourself, but those around you warm? So think about, if you can't cook and you have canned goods. Don't get me wrong, you can still eat them, but nothing like a nice, healthy, warm meal to make you feel pretty good about it. Or if you have, say for instance, like Mountain House, or you have dehydrated meals, being able to boil that water, get it in there, and make stuff like that. Then of course you have to think about cooking. So this is the stuff I've done, and even though it was only for 10 days, you could tell how many people wouldn't have been prepared for that, because one, it was a blackout, so we had no electricity. I did have, of course, my small generators, my solar power generators. I had portable lights I could put around the house. I was able to boil water. You can wash, you can do whatever you want with that stuff. So for me, this really, really was able to help me out. Then we could keep it warm. There was so many different things you could do. When you need to take a shower, you could actually fill it up, and there's portable showers you can use. And there's a portable shower, you just get in your tub, and the thing is, it's got a little ball on it, you squeeze, and as you squeeze, it just forces water out. And also you can do the pressurized ones too, those are pretty cool. But man, I mean, you're able to do everything you want to without necessarily freezing yourself or putting yourself in a situation where you're just cold. So I know I'm kind of rambling on, but trying to fill dead space. So my thought is, for those, try to find some form, especially if you're in the north, of a camping stove, or at least if you're gonna have a bug out location, talk to someone who does have a wood stove or a fireplace. My grandfather and them heated with coal. They actually heated with coal for the longest time. So, dealing with coal, dealing with firewood, and then in a shit hit the fan situation, if you have a portable stove, just be prepared. You're going to have to stay up all night. Those stoves takes little twigs, and those twigs, they burn out pretty quick. So I normally get oak logs, and in a long-term shit hit the fan situation, how many people are going to be willing to actually cut down a tree with an axe, cut it down into 18 to 21 inch sections, depending on how big it is, split it, season it. So that takes time. It's not just a quick one-stop thing. Also, when cooking, yeah, a lot of the fires, you find people who go out and they buy firewood all the time. But if you subtract a chainsaw, if you subtract a lot of the things you'll need, now you could use a handsaw. Those will work perfectly good. Hand saws work great. Cutting down a branch, cut that up, throw it on the fire. But I mean long term. So long term, getting the wood, splitting it, seasoning it, because you got green wood. Green wood will burn, but man, does it burn with a lot of smoke, and it creates a lot of soot in your fireplace. You can still burn it, and like I said, in that situation, you got to do what you got to do. So this is just a thought. Wanted to run it by y'all, and if y'all would like for me to go live and possibly do like Q&As, just let me know. Leave it in the comments. Maybe I can set something up where I go live. But I got to start doing more of these videos due to the fact that it seems like there's some impending bullshit. I'll just put it that way. Something's coming down the pipeline, man. That's what I believe and I feel, and I've been prepping for years, and it hasn't felt like more of a time to start prepping than now. Once again, just my personal standpoint. I may be over exaggerating. To be honest with you, I got anxiety, so it's one of them things. Who knows? But that's what keeps me prepping. So this ain't New Breed signing out. Y'all stay safe. Y'all stay sound. And remember, if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. And in these cold seasons, listen, just grab you something portable, something small, grab a couple extra blankets. Me and the entire family, everybody, I got sleeping bags that are rated for 30 below. So just in case. But once again, I've got enough wood for about 3 years in my backyard, just stacked up. So once again, it's just a thought. So people in the city, people in big areas, big cities, if it gets a little cold out, just remember there are ways to warm up. But if you got to get out, and that's why I'll talk to you in another video about why I'm staying up north. I'm not heading anywhere else. I'll stay about where I'm at because my chance of survival and putting myself at a tactical disadvantage when it comes to stuff like that, since I already know my surroundings. But that's a whole nother video. Hopefully I get it done and I get it put up here in the next day or two. So once again, A New Breed signing out. Let me stop ranting so I can get off here.